4, and 7. Okay? So this works. It's just not very friendly. It's very big numbers. So, anyhow, that's my daughter walking past online learning, apparently. So there's that way to do it. Now let's do it the other way. Let's do it the way that might make it easier for you. Okay. So we have the same problem. And we're going to set it up the same way. Okay, so we need the least common multiple of 12 and 6. So remember, go to the 12 and the 6 row. Here we go. So here's the 12 row and the 6 row, right? And remember, this car's faster. It goes 12 miles an hour versus 6 miles an hour. So what's the first number in the 12 row? 12. Is there a 12 in the 6 row? Yes. Oh, so 12 is our common denominator. Did you see that? So instead of the 12 and 12. So instead of doing something ridiculous, like 126 or whatever that other number was, it's much smaller, much easier to work with. All right, so let's do that instead. So we have 12, 12, and 12. Now I have a feeling, I'm hoping I didn't do my math wrong in that other program or in that other problem, but I might have. So let's take a look. And too bad I can't give you guys homework passes for catching my mistakes. All right, so 12 times what is 12? Well, that's easy, 1 and 1. Okay, and then 6 times what is 12? 2 over 2. Much easier, much smaller numbers here. And then 11 times 1 is 11. 5 times 2 is 10. And these are a lot easier numbers. And then check your sign. 11 plus 10 is 21. Now, did we get the same answer? Not yet, because we have to what? We have to check for to be able to simplify. So this, in this case, can simplify. So we have to figure out what number we're going to divide by. So get your toolkit back out. And we're looking for a 12 and a 21 in the same row. 12 and a 21. So in the 3 row there's a 12, but no 21. In the 3 row there's a 12, oh, and a 21. So it could be 3. How about the 4 row? There's a 12, no 21. 5 row, nope. 6, a 12, but no 21. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, nope. Okay, so our our greatest common factor is 3. So we divide by 3 over 3, and you get 7/4. So we did get the same answer. Now, once again, it's up to you. I would rather work with these smaller numbers and use the toolkit twice. One for finding the common denominator, and then one for finding the greatest common factor. But you know, if you're more comfortable doing it this way, you just need to make sure you're really good at using your toolkit for finding the greatest common factor of big numbers. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's go with this one. All right. So we have 21. Let me move this. 21 over 25. And and minus 2/5. Now, do you want to multiply 5 times 25 to get a common denominator? Or can you already see what your common denominator is because you guys are good with your factors? So let's take a look here. So set it up, times, times, line, line, equals, equals, line, line. Big line, copy your sign, that's the important step right there. And then little line. Okay, so we need to find a least common multiple of 5 and 25. Well, you should already know that, but if not, get out your handy dandy toolkit and find a 5 and a 25 in the same row. Don't like this shiny on here, it's bothering me. Okay, let me move this down here, it might help a little bit. I'll have to work on that. Okay, so 5 and 25 in the same row, not in the 2 row, not in the 3 row, not in the 4 row. Oh, the 5 row, yes, 5 and 25. Okay, so, oh, Lena, I'm finding the common factor. We don't want to do that yet. Hold on, go to the members, the 5 and the 25 row. Sorry. Okay, 25 row way down here, 5 row way up here. Start with the 25. What's the first number in the 25 row? 25. Is there a 5, or is there a 25 in the 5 row? Yes. So 25 is your least common multiple. Okay, so instead of, let's write that down really quick. Instead of 5 times 25, which is 125, you're working with a much smaller denominator. Okay? All right, now we fill in the blanks. So 5 times what is 25? That's 1. And what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. Your giant 1 again. And then 5 times what is 25? Well, 5 over 5. Okay, so 21 times 1 is 21. 2 times 5 is 10. Check your sign. Your sign says to subtract. So 21 minus 10 is 11. Now, do you think we have to simplify that? Probably not, because 11 is prime. Doesn't hurt to check, but in this case, you don't have to. Okay? So instead of dealing, if we did it the way your elementary school teacher might have taught you, 5 times 25 is 125. So you would have been dealing with 125 on the bottom as a denominator and then having to simplify. And in this case, we didn't have to simplify at all. So I want to look at the worksheet. So you have 3 worksheets to do for this. And, you know, when I'm giving notes, you should be taking notes in your journal. It's going to be difficult because I'm kind of going a little bit fast because I don't have you guys to help me out. And but you can this is perfect because you can actually pause me, which you know how to pause me in the classroom, but now you have to pause me on the video. And this is going to be a YouTube video, which you've already probably figured out since you had to click on the link. So here's a couple of examples up here at the top, both with different denominators. This one's an adding one, this one's a subtracting one. Notice here they didn't go 4 times 6 is 24. They found the least common multiple, which is 12. Okay? And then they do it horizontally, which I disagree with. I think it makes it confusing, but if you're comfortable with that format, that's fine. Then see here, so here we have 1/4 plus 5/6. They found the common denominator, which is 12. Then in their heads, apparently, they got to 3/12. but what they did is they multiplied by 3 over 3 right here. So I just don't want you guys to get confused. I know you can see it. So here they multiplied by 3 over 3 to get 3/12. Here they had to multiply by 2 over 2 to get 10/12. And they just did it sideways. You see, to me it's a little confusing, but if it works for you, that's fine. And then they know they just copy the 12, 3 plus 10, 13/12. Now, this step you do not have to do. You do not have to change it to a mixed number. In 6th grade, you don't have to do that anymore. 7th and 8th grade are not going to require you to do this, so we don't need to waste our time in 6th grade doing it. Okay, and then they did a subtraction one for you. Now, this one actually does work. So 3 times 2 is 6, so your least common multiple is 6. And then they did it sideways or horizontally here again. And if that format works for you, great. Okay? Didn't have to simplify either of these, which is nice. Okay, so let's go down to the worksheet, and I'm gonna show you this horizontally, and then you decide what you want to do. Make sure you look at your notes so that you can figure out what you're more comfortable with. Okay, so denominator's different. They said the least common multiple is 15, which of course it is, because if you look at the 5 row and the 3 row, the first number they have in common is 15. And then what did you do to 5 to get 15? Well, you multiplied by 3 over 3. So 3 times 3 is 9/15. Do you see how it's kind of weird this way? I don't like it, but some of your brains already can work this way without a problem. And then what we do to 3 to get to 15? We multiplied by 5 over 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. It's already there. 1 times 5 is 5. And then they move it over here once again. That's kind of a wasted step, but I'm just showing you so that you know how to fill in the rest of these. And then 9 plus 5 is 14. So if you get comfortable doing it this way, okay, it takes up more space, I think. So I would like you guys, so if you don't like it this way, you can always do it, because you're going to have to do this in your journal anyhow. All of this stuff is in your journal. So actually, probably let's just forget this altogether and just copy these problems in your journal and do them the way I showed you in your notes. Because I just think that this gets too messy and too confusing here. So I just think you should just copy those problems in your math journal, because then you know you're going to be taking a picture and sending them to me. Okay? So then down here, so there's all of these problems have to go into your math journal. Then you take a picture, upload it into Google Classroom, and I will grade it. I'll let you know, what mistakes you made on your problems, and we can go from there. So I would like you guys to go ahead and try these 11 problems at home today. They're due today. Let's see. Well, usually I have them due tomorrow, don't I? I'd like them, see if we can get these 11 problems done today. I'm sure you can get it done. And that way I can check them and we can talk about them tomorrow. I can pick some that I see that you guys struggled with and why you struggled with them. So don't forget, you're going to need your toolkit for this. These notes